Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Well, might be asking who is this? Well, my name is Rob. Hello EWV followers, fans. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Good morning. My name is Rob Salso. I'm a moderator for EWV, and today we're going to be looking at some severe weather we have ongoing today for portions of Texas into Oklahoma. Not looking as good right now. As we have some cells really moving to the north. We have this cooler uh, temperatures aloft and dew points aloft in the 40s and 50s as this really moves up north of this cold front, probably now more towards the south. But we are seeing pretty limited severe potentials as these storms move to the north northeast. Probably going to fizzle out once it gets above that more cooler air aloft as we're watching right now. We also have a never mind that Mezco discussion went away, but we did have a Mezco discussion for parts of these areas south of Fort Worth. We were seeing potential for severe weather. We had some elevated supercells overnight. Um, Possibly could have some hail makers still, but we do also have a special weather statement we're going to go over really fast. Let me switch radar. By the way, guys, this is weatherwise.com that I'm using right now. It is an online website you could use to look at radar advisories, as you can see on the right. Very cool website if you want to check it out. All right, so here is the storm we have here, kind of looking like a Boeing segment, as you can see from this arc right here. Not looking too impressive right now. There is still some cooler air near the area. We do have some cells to the west of there. But let's take a look at this really fast and see what this says here. A line of strong thunderstorms will impact southern Bowie, northern Morris, and northern Cass counties until 10:15 a.m. The operator is tracking a line of strong thunderstorms coming from near Dalby Springs to over Rocky Branch. We're extending 14 miles west of New Boston, 18 miles east of Mount Pleasant. This is moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. We could see half-inch size hail as well. I think the storms that are going to be keeping to the east of Longview, I'd say, are going to be the stronger storms because of the environment there. We do have some better moisture return down here, as you can see. Have some cells also near the Lake Charles area in Louisiana. Nothing severe yet, but also, but we could have like a renegade cell up here near the Dallas-Fort Worth area that could get severe. But I think the biggest threat we're going to have today is hail and wind. I don't think the tornado threat is enough for today, but that is what we're looking at right now. So, could get some severe thunderstorm warnings. If we do during today's broadcast, I will definitely let you guys know. And I hope you guys are having a good day. So, let me take a look at the. So now we're going to be looking at the radar. So let's go take a quick look at the radar right now. So, as we can see from the radar, we do have this cold front that is draped over central Texas. We have another low possibly to the south as well. So this low is when we're watching. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, this is not looking very great. We do have some areas of some Boeing segments, but nothing that I would say is severe at this time. So that's really something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. We do have a hail report here near Mount Pleasant, 0.75 inch hail in Titus County by Broadcast Media. So there's something there, but really under severe limit hail and wind for today. We're just not having that robust moisture setup in these areas, and the cold front has really trailed more south than we expect. There's definitely more mixing going on north of here. A lot more cooler air is getting through than warmer air. So that's kind of what we're seeing right now. This cooler, drier frontal system. But I think these cells could be something we could see in a severe thunderstorm warning, possibly. The cold front is still to the north, so there is still time for it to get down here. So I do believe we will have some severe thunderstorm warnings in these areas today. So that's what we got going on today. We also have another risk for next week, possibly for some more severe weather across portions of the southeast, Dixie Alley, and possibly into the Midwest. So we're going to take a look at that here really fast. Let me get to there. All right, so as you can see, we're at the NextLab website, College of DuPage. We're looking at the mid-level latitude wind speeds right now. So this is what we have right now. So as you can see, we have a low right here that's ejecting from the west. And that's going to be the low that we're really watching right now. This is by Sunday, where that low gets kind of trapped over here near Arkansas. Could see some severe weather south with the higher gusts from that trough. And then as we get into, looks like Monday afternoon, we have that now near Florida. Could see some gusty winds possibly down here in the Florida peninsula. So that's something we're watching as well. And that trough exits. And then we have this smaller period of high pressure. High pressure here with this drier pocket of just no wind. Not really any wind. So could see that. And then the next system we have is right here. We have another low coming in through the central plains. Could see some severe weather scattered south in parts of Texas. Maybe even parts of Louisiana. Very limited risk as well because of how much the moisture return is slowed. So if we have a faster moisture return, we could see some more severe storms. If it's not, probably just going to be some rain and some wind. And then this is the one we are really watching. This is the one that... Oh, wait. Am I looking at the wrong model? Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the incorrect models. Let me restart. I'm sorry, guys. It's an early morning, so I'm still trying to wipe the cobwebs dust. All right, so let's look at this again. All right, so this is today. So like I said, we have this low that's sitting across parts of Texas. New Mexico, kind of trailing off New Mexico, parts of Texas. Really good seeing those high winds to the southeast of that jet, really in this region. So any tornadoes or storms that can go off of this area with decent shear, we could see some elevated tornadoes, possibly maybe some surface base later on today. So that's for that. And then we have that next trough coming in a little bit south of the last model run, kind of more near Oklahoma, Texas. So, and the winds are not looking as strong in this trough. Probably could see some severe weather down here, maybe some up here, maybe to the east of here, possibly. Really unsure about how that's going to be. A lot of models still picking that up. And then we have this next one that really forms up here near the Dakotas. We have this strong, negatively tilted trough, as you can see, from the northwest to the southeast. So really going to be keeping an eye on. This is the one that a lot of meteorologists and storm chasers are really watching for the next few days into next week. And then it moves all across to the east southeast. So now let's look at another thing that we also look at when we look at models, especially later models. Again, guys, this is all experimental. This is all forecasting, so this might not be accurate, but we are seeing trends that we could have a severe weather setup. So that is what we're looking at now. Let's go ahead and look at the dew point temperatures right now. So as of right now, dew points are looking decent. Like I said, that area where that marginal risk is, could really see some thunderstorms in this area. Could see a couple SVRs, some nice hail, but not a lot of moisture. We have this purple area, which is higher moisture in the surface. So definitely going to be seeing if we have more moisture plume running north, and it looks like not really. We have that trough that's coming through, pushing that warmer air south. So once that gets through, we have a area of high pressure, low dew points, cooler weather, stable conditions, so no severe weather there. And then we have this next trough coming in right here. A little bit of moisture return down here in Louisiana. Let's take a look at southern Louisiana for here. This is the sound I'm looking at just really fast. Just give me a second. So yeah, none. There's a lot of things to watch here. So could change, but it really just depends on that moisture and the steep lapse rates. If those lapse rates stay steeper in this setup, we could definitely see some severe weather down south. And then we have this. Oh, sorry about that. And then we have this bigger system now. In this model, the 06Z, we do have some higher areas of moisture return, which could mean we could have some severe weather for portions of the southeast and possibly even an area in the Midwest, possibly. So that's something we're watching as well. And then that gets pushed down with the trough running through. Could possibly also see some severe weather for parts of Florida. It really is just a guessing game right now what could happen, but a lot of models are indicating that we could see a severe weather setup as soon as next Friday into Saturday. So right now, like I was saying, a lot of guessing, a lot of finding out if this is going to be coming to fruition or not, but the biggest thing we're watching is moisture. And then after that, wow, look at this. We have this more broad area of moisture all the way up here. See that 60s? That's prime, even down here in parts of Texas. So we could see another system move through and possibly have some more severe weather after that. So, wow, look at that. Look how long that moisture sticks around. This is the 20th of March. So, really looking interesting. So, there's that. I also wanted to look at the convective supercell composite. So this is showing the supercells that can form anywhere in the United States. The higher values are going to be higher chances. So there's that. So right now, like I said, some parts of Texas could see some severe weather. That was a little early this morning. Let's see a little bit later. So as this trough moves to the east, really low as values of that supercell composite. So probably not going to be seeing a lot of supercells because of the lower moisture, the lower lapse rates, not as steep as we want for that type of setup. So that's a no-go. Then we have this next trough. So we do have a little bit here in parts of eastern Texas, kind of the Arklatex area. Let's take a look at that and see if there's any severe threats possibly for this one. This is going to be the 13th of March, so next Thursday. Yeah, none. So it really just depends on if this verifies. This is a few days out, so there's that. And then we have this next trough coming in. Look at this. Parts of Texas, even parts of Midwest Iowa could possibly see something. We have this higher value here in Louisiana. Let's take a look at southern Louisiana. See what they have here. Yeah, so none. Just some rain possibly. So it's a guessing game right now. There's a lot of factors to be in play. Will we have the lapse rates? Will we have the severe weather potential that comes with this trough? Okay, this one says tornado possibly, but do not listen to these soundings. These are very far out, very inaccurate right now. We also have an area up here towards the Midwest of possibly some supercell development. It really just depends again on that moisture that we're watching for these areas. So if this does not pan out, then it will not be a severe event as we're thinking. Let's go ahead and look at the SPC really fast and see what they're saying for next week. So we do have a non-severe for Monday. We have that broad marginal risk for today, as you guys can see. So yeah, like I was saying, biggest threat's going to be possibly a couple spips, like I said, down that southern Gulf states through today. And then we have, obviously, the wind threat also. And then the hail threat mostly going to be parts of Texas and Louisiana into the South Dixie Alley. So that's what we're seeing. Mid, upper, low, Mexico. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Like I said, a plume of steep middle lapse rates extending eastward to the Permian Basin to East Texas. So that's this area right here. So could see some storm development, maybe another round possibly. I'm not too sure. Let me go back and look at the, the reflectivity. Let's go ahead and look at that really fast. Because I do want to see if that's going to be something we need to watch. So, like I said, this is this afternoon. So, if you look, we do have some storms popping up again for parts of Texas and then into the Southern Gulf, like they were saying. So, could see some cells, minor severe hail. And then kind of moves to the east, have some more rain. Possibly we could see maybe a squall line. Monday in Florida, that could be something we can keep an eye on. Maybe get some much needed rain down here. And then after that passes, yeah, so just have that second severe step, very smaller scale as you can see. Could see a squall line. Again, this is very far out, but could see a decent squall line up there. Could see some isolated tornadoes possibly. And then we have this bigger system. Wow, look at this. If this verifies, we have a very big area of a QLCS possibly. Now, I want to also look at the temperatures for this setup as well. So as you can see, again, we don't have just the severe weather potential. We also have the possibility for blizzards, especially in these areas, even north. We could have some pretty heavy snowfall for these portions of the Midwest into the Dakotas. So we don't have just that severe potential. We also have the potential for some snow as well. Let's also take a look at tropical tidbits really fast so we can kind of look at that more in depth and see where the snow is predicted to be. What's up, Joey? Welcome in. Welcome in, Jeff. 5%. Yeah. So, like I said, we're keeping an eye on everything, making sure that we analyze this further. So right now we do have some snow for portions of the Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico area. Very light snow, nothing too much to watch. And then as we get into tomorrow, so this is the reason why we're seeing that cold air aloft, because these areas are going to be seeing snow. So we're not going to be seeing that severe weather potential. We have lower dew points. As we could see from the precipitation moisture, let me look at that really fast. So, like I said, 30s, 40s, we're not going to be seeing severe weather. Now, here's the interesting part. Tonight into tomorrow, we do have higher dew points like we've seen in the marginal risk. So these areas, we could have an isolated tornado, maybe some gusty winds, surface based probably overnight. And then as we get into Sunday morning, still have some decent moisture. Parts of Florida, wow, 55-degree dew points. So I don't think Florida is going to be seeing stronger storms because of, if I had to guess, probably because of a high pressure, maybe southeast ridge that lasted a little longer. But that's just something we're watching. And then as we get into Monday, just some very nice, beautiful weather, low dew points across the southeast. And that's when we have that next plume of warm air evecting as we get into next Thursday into Friday. So that's the big system we're watching. We have this dry line set up right here, possibly. So going to have to keep an eye on that. So we'll wait a little bit. Let's look back at the radar, see if we have anything going on. So yeah, it looks like we still have some cells moving in from the Gulf, parts of New Orleans, some decent cells down here. So that's what we're watching right now. Let's go back and look at Texas. We still have that special weather statement for that squall line. Not looking as good as before, so they might discontinue that. We do have some cells to the south of that. Possibly could see some special weather statements, maybe some gusty winds, some high lightning for sure. And then near Fort Worth, Dallas, yeah, just a lot of this cold core storm coverage that's moving to the northeast. A lot of these are probably going to fizzle out because of that environment that's less conducive for storms. So if I had to guess, I'd say anywhere in these areas today, let me circle this out. Anywhere in these areas, say we could see some severe weather. Probably a little bit more east towards like Gulfport. Tomorrow, I'd say overnight. But today, these shaded areas are probably going to be seeing some potential for severe weather. Probably a couple of stronger storms toward the warmer sector. So that's what we're watching right now. Chance for snow tonight, Oklahoma. That's correct. Upper 70s all week. Yeah, it looks like possibly could get some snow up there in Oklahoma. Definitely. So maybe these areas, maybe a little bit north. So yeah, could definitely see some snow. Let's go ahead and look at the dew points for Oklahoma. I actually want to look at that as well. Let's look at dew point temperatures, and let's go back to the where's the sector? Oh, looks like we have our 12Z model out. Okay, let's take a look at that. So the 12Z model is still coming out, but let's take a look at the beginning of this as we see it here. So right now, this is 12Z Saturday. That's right about 8 o'clock. So let's look at the 15. Okay, so as we can see here, 60s. Ooh, is this more moisture than we saw in the last run? Let me look at the last one really fast. A little bit. It's a little bit higher. Not by much, but there's a little bit more moisture that's driving to the north. Not a lot to have necessarily a tornado event, but still interesting to see. So, like I said, as we get into the end of the weekend, moving to the east, that moisture gets pushed by the trough. And then we have, oh, look at this. All right, so this is by Thursday. So, could see some isolated chance of severe weather down here again, possibly. We have that drier area to the west. So yeah, definitely could see some, maybe a little bit north, possibly with the 50s, but I think it's gonna be more south. And then as we get to this bigger system coming in, still coming out. So if that moisture returns faster and it kind of lingers and moves north, we could actually see this pan out. Again, this is all experimental, but that's very interesting. Let me go ahead and refresh the page and look at the dew points. Let's see. I think we're gonna do the medium range. Let's look at NAM, and we'll look at Southern Great Plains, and then we'll go to surface dew points. Yeah, look at that. You got dew points right now in the 30s. See, this is why we're not going to have severe weather in Oklahoma today. This is exactly why. Look at those dew points compared to this, where this cold front, let me use blue for that. Compared to where this cold front is down near Texas. We're not going to be having that. We could have some cold core storms move up, but most of it's going to be very elevated, not enough to have a event where it's severe weather. Time for 12V. Yep, it's just about to come in. We could definitely see some more better moisture return for sure. So we'll just have to see how that model comes out. We're still keeping an eye on that. Oh wait, this is 100%. It's out now. So let's take a look. Let's go back to the contiguous US. All right, so it is out now, 100%. So let's take a look. So we saw this already. Oh wait, this is for the NAM. Okay, this isn't for the GFS. All right, so it's still coming out. I thought it was for the GFS. My bad, guys. Yeah, 39%. So still keep an eye on it. Still seeing that. So yeah, pretty nice temperatures right now in Oklahoma. Like I said, it's a little bit of warm evection here. A little bit, not a lot. Just that warmer air trying to fight back north, just ever so slightly. So that moves out to the southeast. So yeah, oh, look at that dry air behind it. And then we have that next plume by next Wednesday. Oh, look at that. This is that step we're looking at, Joey. Got that 60s. Definitely something we could see here. Possibly if the conditions are right for the jet and the instability. That's another thing, too. The instability is going to be a big factor, especially for the helicity and the jet stream in general. If we have that helicity that comes in and that jet stream is stronger, especially in this area up here where that negative tilt comes down, we could see some potential in Texas again. So Texas might have two different areas of severe weather from today into next week. So Texas, keep a close eye, especially East Texas, into Louisiana and Arkansas, possibly even Western Tennessee as well. So you have that plume coming up. Wow, look at that. This is the 14th of March. So that's Friday. This is the big system. Look at that, guys. 70s, 60s, high 60s. Wow. Definitely going to be interesting to see if that verifies. Very interesting. Let me actually look at the contiguous United States and see what that says. Okay. Wow, look at this, guys. Let's compare this to the last run, actually. Let me go to compare products, previous runs. Let's see. Interesting. So this is the last run, right? This is the 060. This is the look at that, Joey. You see that? Here in the last run, the moisture only comes up to here. But in this next run, guess where it goes? More north. So maybe we could see another area up here of maybe a slightly enhanced. My opinion, I think we're going to see two areas of slight/enhanced. I think we're going to see an enhanced down here where this deeper moisture is. And then we could also see another slight for the northern, near Tennessee Valley, Missouri, parts of the Midwest, Hoosier Alley. So I think we could see two areas of severe weather. Definitely for sure. So I have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, those dudes go really far north compared to the last one. Could be the first large scale, definitely. So yeah, possibly even parts of Iowa for sure. 50s, especially if that because of where the jet's located. But look at that dry line. Oh, that's not a bad one. That's not a good one. Look at that dry line. Yeah, and let's go forward after that. Let me go back here. Yeah, look at that. Wow, even parts of Illinois, Indiana, 60s. Yeah, this looks way better than we saw last night. Look at that. Plume of moisture moving north. That's what you want, guys, in a severe weather setup. You want moisture advecting north from the Gulf, meeting in the middle where these two boundaries are, the cold and the warm, especially where you have that quasi-stationary front kind of right here. Let me draw a better picture with a different color. So that quasi-stationary front, like right there, where the cold and the warm are fighting each other, and then you have that severe weather, like right where this red line is. So, like I said, the two areas I'm watching is down here in the southeast, maybe a little bit north, and then up here in the Midwest. So very interesting, very very interesting. Definitely a lot of big snow as well, for sure. Let's actually take a look at the precipitation. SLP. No, it's not that one. I think it's where's winter? Okay, precipitation type. Yeah, look at this. Whoa, look at this, Joey. You were right. Look at that snow up there on the northwest side, and look how close those isobars are. That could be a really indicative, maybe a blizzard in parts of northern South Dakota, southern North Dakota, possibly. Definitely could probably see a blizzard up there, maybe. Depends. Let's look back a little bit. Yeah, a lot of snow on that backside. Look at that. Could see a big snowmaker. Spring snow maker for sure. I wish it would show me the strength of the low. It doesn't show me that right now, but yeah. Definitely could see some severe weather. Like I said, anywhere in these areas, really, you could see severe weather. So, very, very interesting. Let's go back at the radar and see what we got going on. Nothing really there. Let's go down here. Yeah, just not a lot of it. Storm. Yeah, see this where is it? Up here. See, this got discontinued because of the conditions. It just doesn't look good. So, like I said, I think decent looking cell over here. So I think the severe risk for today is really going to be anywhere from New Orleans, Louisiana, up in really any of these areas. That's where I think the severe weather potential is going to be for the day. So, yeah, a lot to watch, obviously. Let's actually take a look at the radar really fast, see if there's any more hail reports or anything like that. So, looking at the radar, again, we have that cold front really. See, that's why, guys, this is why that line is, this Boeing segment is weakening, because look at the cold front and look at that storm. Way south. So, that's why we're seeing these cold core thunderstorms really moving in. There is some moisture in the upper levels, maybe the mid levels, but in the lower levels there's just not enough moisture. So yeah, not looking too good for that. Okay, I'll use tropical tidbits. Let's go ahead and look at tropical tidbits really fast, and we'll look at that here in a bit. So let's go here. Okay, tropical tidbits. Newest model should be just coming out. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's go. Okay, 975. Wow. That is a strong, that's what, Category 2 hurricane strength with the isobars? Yeah, that's a very strong low pressure. And then you have that negative tilt, like I was talking, oh, not that. You have that negative tilt. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. You have the severe weather on this side. Definitely see that. Very interesting. 975. That's a decent low pressure. What is that, Joey? Category 2 hurricane strength? Category 1? That's a very strong low pressure for sure. So yeah, that's what we're watching, guys. Definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. Yeah, let's look a little earlier when it first evolves. Look at that. 983, 975, 969. Look at that. 969 milliliter. That's like bomb cyclone level, right? You got that snow on the western side. Very strong trough if that verifies. If this all verifies, by next Friday, guys, we could be seeing severe weather for parts of the Midwest and the South. So definitely keep an eye on that for sure. Let's see if it gets stronger. So yeah, that's where it peaks, 969. Right there in western Kansas. Yeah, for sure. So western Kansas looks like a climax is right there. I think it's going to be a little bit more north, though, just because of the placement of that low. Might be more shifted north, depending on if we have more. If it shifts more to the northeast, we could definitely see some more severe weather in Iowa, parts of Missouri and Illinois, and then maybe parts of Indiana by Saturday. So, exactly. Look at even the southwesterly winds. Let's actually look at the like right here, southeast Colorado. Yeah, look at that. Look at those winds. These westerlies moving more to the north as it gets in the atmosphere. Look at that. Very strong winds. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Very strong winds in the in this area here in southeast Colorado on that backside. Let's look at central Kansas. And you got the, was that the southwesterlies, northeasterlies, I believe. So yeah, very strong winds for sure. Anywhere in that area, right by the low, that's pretty strong winds. So if I had to like predict, I'd say we'll see a lot of high wind watches and advisories on this side. We'll see some winter storm advisories, Colorado, and then as we get further into this progression, definitely going to see some more winter advisories in the Dakotas, probably parts of Iowa, depending on if there's snow instead of rain there. So yeah, a lot to watch. A lot of different features. Wind. Ooh, Joey, look at this. Look at that convection plume on the... This is Saturday evening, afternoon. Look at that. Look at that. That could be a squall line right there. Definitely very interesting. Southwest winds. Southwest winds. That's right. Thank you. I knew it was one of the two. Look at that. Right there. That could be something we need to watch. And then let's see after that. Yeah. And it has like a southern plume of severe weather, rain, thunderstorm activity. Definitely very interesting. For sure. So that is what we're keeping an eye on. That is what we are looking at there. Let's look back at the COD really fast. So, yeah, look at that. Let's look at the dew points. Surface dew points. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. It peaks right there, the moisture. You have your dry line right here. You have your moisture right here. And then even more north as right there. Wow. Very, very interesting. That is a very big line. So, yeah, I think this could be a very intense system if this all verifies. I was looking at the 00Z, and look how far north this goes. And then if you go to the 06, right, south, not as north, and then the newest model, right back to being a little more north. Very, very interesting setup for sure. Let me actually look as well at the Supercell Composite. Oh, look at that. Central Illinois possibly could be seeing severe weather on Saturday morning. Wow. Possibly. This isn't 100% confirmed. I think it's mostly going to be some rain, maybe. Tornado. Look at that. Possibly a tornado. Photographs aren't looking that bad. It's got that decent look to it. Very close, 60 degree dew points in March in Illinois is very impressive. So if that verifies, we could definitely be seeing some very very interesting progressions. Just that whole entire line is going to be the telling tale, and then we have some more convective precip, possibly parts of Dixie Alley, Joey. If you might want to go chasing, that might be something you need to keep an eye on. And then right there, that's where the line pretty much goes, all the way from Texas all the way into Iowa, basically. Wow. So there you go, guys. A lot can change. Exactly, a lot can change. Let's see. How long have I been live here? I've been live for about 15 minutes. We'll go for another 10, 15 minutes. So, guys, if you guys have any questions, definitely let us know. This is a very incomplete forecast because we don't know a lot of questions. The biggest question right now, I would say, is A, will this verify? Will the moisture return be quicker in between these next two troughs? The second question is, will the instability be enough in those areas? And will the lapse rates be steep enough for that convection to initiate? And the capping inversion. Will the capping inversion be stronger? Will the high pressure inhibit that? A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Let's take a look at the lapse rates. These are the mid-level lapse rates. There's an error right there. I mean, low level, not looking as good. Oh, okay. I mean, it looks decent, but that's by Saturday. Definitely looks way better than we looked at last night, Joey. For sure. 9, 10. You have that pocket right there. 7, 8. They don't look too bad, Joey. They do not look too bad. Not bad at all. We'll just have to see if that verifies. Now, let's look at this compared to the 6. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be a very interesting system, for sure. And then compared to 0, 0. Yeah, so, like I said, there's a lot of question marks into this. A lot of question marks. So, really going to have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, for sure. A lot higher mid-level lapse rate values than yesterday, for sure. So, all right, let's look at the bulk shear. Let's see how the shear looks. Let's see, that's Friday. Wow, look at that shear coming into parts of. Wow. Yeah, Joey, look at this. You have that negatively tilted trough. You have shear values. Let's see. It's 89 knots, 70 knots. Look at Iowa, Illinois, 75 knots. So if we have any updrafts, that could be something we need to keep an eye on. So if the conditions are prime enough with the moisture return, we could have some pretty decent tornadoes, even some stuff ahead of the line. Even parts of like the Dixie Alley have some decent bulk shear. So something else to keep an eye on, guys, is if that verifies, could get some decent shearing environment. Yeah, look at that, man. So let's look at this compared to the where is it? Precipitation. Yeah, look at that. So Southeast Louisiana, that's Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it'd be cool if you can get out there, man, for sure. If it's something you want to do, of course. Yeah, so we could have some severe thunderstorms Saturday, parts of Louisiana. And then earlier on, I mean, just look at that. Wow. Let's look at West Illinois. West Illinois, Friday afternoon. Probably going to see maybe a tornado. Rain, precip. Yeah, so we'll just have to see, guys. I think I'm going to end my broadcast here. Let's take a look at the radar again really fast. This is just the radar. So yeah, what we're seeing is right now we still have that cold front really sweeping across the central Dixie Alley into the Arkla Mist, Arkla Tex. Not really seeing a lot of storm coverage. I have this decent small storm really struggling to get going. So let me look at the lapse rates right now. I think they said they were getting stronger as we get through the afternoon. Pretty much I think that's what they said. Let me look at the lapse rates. Not surface, convective level. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. They're not looking that great. Let me look at the low level. Yeah, they're not looking that great. I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe in central Louisiana, maybe parts of Mississippi. I just don't see it really. So it really just depends. We'll just have to see if that cap can break in southern Louisiana. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Sorry if I'm a little like too excited. This is first time I've done this on YouTube. Hope you guys had a great time watching. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you guys keep your alerts on if you are going to be going out in this event next week. If it verifies, we still have a lot of question marks, a lot of things to look at when it comes to the models. So remember to stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to experience the extreme with EWV. My name is Rob Salso. I'm a moderator, E105. We'll see you for the next one. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching.